up in Middleton, which is just north of Boston. I played the typical sports people do, softball. I think I played soccer for a little while, basketball. I did figure skating. As I matured, I probably migrated more towards softball and figure skating, and then along came rifle, which was kind of a surprise. But so I never started off thinking I wanted to be like a rifle shooter. I was thinking more like I want to be a figure skater. But rifle just kind of happened, and I went with it. And I ended up attending the University of Alaska Fairbanks and was a member of their rifle team. I pretty much got into rifle completely by accident. My father had a rifle up in the attic of our house, and my sister and I were probably about like 13, 14. We became aware that it was there. We weren't allowed to touch it, and we just had so many questions. So many, like, why do we have a rifle? Can we shoot it? We didn't know what to think of it. And the deal was my father said we could shoot it if we took a safety course. So he enrolled us in a hunter safety course that we went to take, like, it was several weeks long. We went like every Saturday morning. He went with us. We took it, we passed the test. So the deal was we got to shoot the rifle. Of course, it was like a big, loud rifle that we shot once and probably never again. It wasn't really an enjoyable rifle. So, but it just so happened that the club we took this course at also had a junior rifle program, and they shot 22 caliber rifles and the 3 position style that we shoot in college. And that was really my real introduction. Was just it was kind of, we stumbled upon it by accident. Just so happened we had a rifle up in the attic, and we were asking questions about it. I would definitely have to say it was probably my teammates. I mean, there's obviously like lots of occasions and different things that happened, but the members of the team that I was on when I was in college, they just had such a they were just such a strong group of athletes that they really were able to we were able to push each other. I think one of our greatest successes was we we were all shooting at such a high level and doing it consistently that we were able to push each other. We were constantly getting out of our comfort zone, which came in really handy when you find yourself in like national championships, World Cups, or the Olympics. You're not comfortable there, but you need to be like not comfortable in practice in order to like make it happen and know how to make it happen. So that's probably like one of the biggest things. But I think, my first NCAA championships was definitely my biggest memory. There was just a lot of, kind of anxiety going into it. I'd never been to one. Now, how was it going to turn out? I really didn't make my way into the final team probably until just a couple days before it was picked. And, fortunately, it like worked out really well. I had a really good day. The team did really, really well there. We won. And I think that gave me like a lot of confidence moving forward. Just, the fact that you could be like so nervous, so excited, so like out of your comfort zone, and things could still go really well. That's a pretty interesting question because, I definitely didn't grow up thinking like, oh, I want to be a rifle coach when I grew up. Because, as I told you, I was thinking more like, oh, I'm going to be a figure skater or something else. But I think, as time went on, I definitely competed in college. I competed a bit after college. And, growing up, my parents were always like, you don't major in rifle. You need to have something when you come out of college that you can do. So I never really like had it in my head that I was going to be a rifle coach. But, several years after I had retired from shooting, it's kind of like you still miss it. But, competing at that level, like, what kind of commitment it takes, and you're not really ready to go back and have that type of a commitment. But coaching just kind of seemed to be like the next best thing where you're still involved in the shooting community. And it was kind of the best of both worlds. It was a nice balance where, I didn't have to be an athlete, but yet I could still help people and, let them know things that I've learned and try to help them work through different things. So I think it was something that kind of, it almost transpired just, it was the right combination of things. It was in the right place at the right time. The position opened up and someone recommended it to me. And, I kind of went for it. And here I am. There's a lot of things. MIT is such a unique place. I mean, obviously it's a world-class university, but the students are probably one of the best aspects. They come from all over the world. They're very diverse, but they all have different majors. They all have different interests outside of MIT. Some of them have startups. Some of them are working in different labs. They've got internships, but they all come to MIT with a really strong focus and a strong drive and a strong work ethic. And it really transitions nicely into athletics where they're able to learn something new and and they've got that foundation on how to advance and how to improve in it. And I think one of the other things too is being a Division 3 school, you kind of have the best of both worlds. For rifle, we get to compete in a Division 1 championship. So we've had the opportunity to shoot against like the current Olympic gold medalist, the current NCAA championship team. And, it's just the nice part about being Division 3 is I know all my students are on the team, like truly for the love of the sport. And I think that has led to us having some like really good chemistry over the years. My favorite moment with the team was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. We were going into the NCAA qualifier, and this was our last chance to really qualify for the MAC championships. And, I was looking at the numbers, and it didn't really look good. It wasn't unattainable. But if we didn't qualify as a team, I had to pick one individual to represent us, and they could shoot as an individual. We just wouldn't get to shoot as a team. And, I kind of said to myself, I was like, I really need to talk to the team about this, and we need to come up with a plan. And, I want to be forward in how we pick the team, how we pick this individual. So there's a lot of clarity, and I didn't want anyone to be caught off guard or surprised if we didn't qualify as a team. And the team, like when we sat down and we talked about it, in true MIT fashion, we talked about, hey, our average isn't good enough right now. It's based off of our season average, and this is what we currently have. And we've got one match left to improve this average, and it's an average, so it's a little bit harder to improve. But in true MIT fashion, they sat down with their spreadsheets and their calculators, and they calculated it all out. And the next thing I know, they're assigning points. I think we spent a whole practice session, not practicing, but actually calculating out what it would take, who thought they could do what, and how they were going to contribute. And they really, they just really kind of came together, and they got themselves like so pumped up over this. And I remember I was like, I better double check this, make sure. So I like went to the person who does the stats for the conference, and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Am I right or am I wrong? And they're like, no, you're right, but it's kind of unlikely. And I was like, well, that's not what my team thinks. And so then we went to the match at Coast Guard, and we set numerous school records that day. Like I was just blown away. I mean, I knew they had it in them, but they really took it to the next level. 2 of them shot over the school individual record, like significantly. Only one ended up with the score that counted for the school record, but the other one was like 9 points over, and one was 10 points over. So it was huge. We had a whole bunch of personal highs. One of my individuals ended up being an alternate for the NCAA championships. And, we squeaked in and we got into the MAC championships in air rifle. So it was just one of those things where it was a group of seniors who just, they weren't going to let this stop them. So it was very inspiring to sit back and watch that. And that's not the kind of thing that, you can't create that type of determination and drive. Like they had it in them. They brought it out in each other. And for me, it was great because I really kind of got to sit back and just watch them do it. So obviously I grew up in Massachusetts, and MIT was probably really, even though I didn't go to MIT, it was definitely my first introduction to college shooting. I shot the Junior Olympics back when I was probably in 7th and 8th grade there. The first time I went in, I had no idea what was going on, but I got to go there, shoot on a college range, and realize, oh, colleges have shooting teams. This is kind of cool. And then, I came back the following year, and I shot really well, and I qualified and got to go out to Colorado Springs to the training center and shoot out there in a competition, which is pretty inspiring because here I am with all these athletes from all over the country, and some of them are in college and all these different schools. So it really kind of got me, it really kind of opened my eyes. So by the time I was in high school, MIT did have occasionally that have open matches where people could come shoot, and sometimes colleges would come. So I really kind of got my feet wet at MIT, and it really showed me like what the world had to offer, and opened up a lot of opportunities that, even though I didn't go to MIT, like I learned a lot from the time that like I spent there shooting a few matches.